Okay, discuss and review City of Coffeyville disposition on dispatching for Nowata County. This line item was put in there so that we had to have our memorandum of agreement that had to go through the council, their council, and the council commissioners approved it. So there was no problem with that, everything went through. So all I'm doing is just reviewing the action of what we needed to do, because that was not done at that point in time. No vote on that, except everybody's informed that that took place. This line item number 6, discuss and review proposed E911 deployment plan for Nowata County required for the state of Oklahoma. Good. I met with the authorities today in Tulsa. They did not cancel the proposal. They said they were comfortable with it. I do have some work I have to do. One of the line items that they were concerned about was that South Coffeyville was not included in the contract specifically. And so either we generate a contract or we be included in the contract. See, South Coffeyville has an agreement with Coffeyville as it is. But I don't think I could put my hands on that agreement. I don't know if Coffeyville has a copy of that agreement.
I got a copy of it.
You got a copy?
I've got a copy from, it's either 90 or 91.
Okay, because if you do, then I can copy that and say, are they happy with that copy of that agreement, or do I need to come up with another one?
Okay.
Okay? That's because the agreement that we're proposing is for Nowata County, and we're specifying all the communities except South Coffeyville, because South Coffeyville was already in an agreement. But
Would South Coffeyville not be willing to join in now that we're all
Yes.
going to Coffeyville?
it wouldn't make a difference at that point.
So it'd just be a county-wide instead of having two
And
separate?
I would just, in the verbiage of what Coffeyville would service, would include Coffeyville, South Coffeyville. So I think that's what they didn't see in the agreements that we had.
Does that sound right to you, Chad?
That probably is going to be okay. I mean, I'll have to get with Quinn and the city attorney, but I don't find any issue with it. And I'll pull the old contract to Jerome and get it emailed to you when I get back.
If you could email me that, I would like to have that. I can forward that, but I don't have a problem at this point.
This seems like.
Well, I think it'd be good for the whole thing. I'll make a motion that Jared check into it and see it, because then if anybody asks, we are united.
Yeah.
Don't know what it
Yeah, and
is.
see, and what it does mean then, see, right now, per that contract, you are only getting landline fees.
Right.
And by us folding in, then you would get all fees.
Correct.
Which
Okay?
would bump up the fees that the county-wide gets.
Right.
So,
And basically, instead of just splitting up South Coffeyville's fees that they're paying now, and us sitting here trying to divide all this out and saying, okay, South Coffeyville's gonna pay your normal
Yes.
2,000, it's just all one
It-
fee. It simplifies everything.
I would go with that. I don't have a problem there.
And then I imagine probably the city attorney probably wouldn't have an issue, but like I said, we can run that by him. And
Well, I make a motion that Jared handle that and let us know at the next meeting.
I didn't have
agree.
that, we could, but,
Whenever you can feasibly work it in between your
Surgeries and
vacation time expense.
I guess the question, Jerome, is how fast do they need this done for the state side of it? Or are you guys
there's no
okay?
rush. There's no rush.
Okay. Because I don't want you guys getting into a...
We are not into a pickle, because they also pointed out some other things which I'll mention. They have an issue with, I don't have in our deployment plan, our phase 2, specifically defining how the wireless system is going to work and the maintenance behind it. So I need to first get with maintenance fees and implementation. I need to get with RNS Digital to see how that will be continued on and its deployment. So that's something that was not covered in my, I thought I highlighted, I mentioned it, but they were looking for more verbiage in how that was going to be initiated. And so I have to do that. They had a question here on, in our agreement with Coffeyville, where it's got NCIC dispatching and other services excluded. The scope of the Coffeyville service under this agreement include only NG 911 calls and transfers. They didn't understand that, whereas Coffeyville will answer the NG 911 calls in call handling on number 2, but number 3, they were a little bit confused with that line item. Chad and I can read it, because, and it may be because where you have the Coffeyville is not responsible for the National Client Information Center entries or requests, is because you cannot do holdouts.
Correct.
And so, I can, my head wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty simple.
Right.
The sheriff's department's gonna continue to do that for law enforcement.
Yeah, what Coffeyville was doing was defining that that's not their responsibility.
Correct.
So I believe that was it, that they didn't understand that statement. That was Daryl's question. But what they're going to do is sometime this afternoon or tomorrow, I will get an email from Lance, and he will tell me the points that need to be addressed, that we need to be looking at on how to get it. And he says, I will give you your bullets on what needs to be picked up and gone. One of the things that and then I've got something here that's basically, they gave me a copy. This is from Beaver County. Well, I'll make a copy of that and run that through the fire departments, so they will all sign in on with Coffeyville dispatching for them. They wanted to see some documentation that everybody was on board, and I said, everybody's on board, but they want to see paperwork, and they want to see signatures.
Proving that they're on board.
Proving they're on board.
Yeah.
So that needs to be done.
Right, you can get that.
And then the other thing that,
And you might want to address the same thing, we'll make copies, it'll probably enhance it, that all the fire departments agree on the mutual aid too.
yeah, whatever, however you want to.
Well, it just adds more to it, that everybody's agreeing to what's going on.
Yes.
'Cause we update that every year.
Okay.
We have problems with Rogers County sometimes, on my end.
And see, they gave me another one from another place where this letter is to let you know that Beaver County Sheriff Office is willing to have PSAP in our office and dispatch services from the new 911 system and currently being upgraded from the old to new. So I've got two things to look at. But the problem that we have, and Bert, this is not, this is as committee member, that's all. But as far, our trust authority has no funding. And what they thought, and I never gave a thought, does City of Nowata, they pay the sheriff's department for fire and police.
EMS and police.
EMS and police. Okay, good. Because EMS then would be coming under the 911 Trust Authority. That money that they're paying would then come to the Trust Authority. Because we'll be dispatching EMS through Coffeyville. Okay, so that would give funding, a little bit of funding that can be accumulative for the 911 Trust Authority. So you're looking at for the sheriff, and I think because the sheriff is still, sheriff's going to dispatch police stuff for you, that would stay in with the sheriff's department. Okay?
The only thing is that she won't be getting the EMS money anymore.
She wouldn't be getting ES money, and that would be something that we would have to negotiate with the city of Nowata to say this is how it's going to work out. And that's what Lance had popped up. He says, this is how you can get some money.
Yeah, there needs to be a breakdown of how much is going to continue the sheriff's department, how much is going to go to the EMS.
I think it's $14.38, something like that each.
Each pays, yeah, I got that in.
It's close to $3,000 a month.
I got that in our agreement where when I was looking at that, I pointed that out, and I think it comes out to something like $24,000 a year. And so it'd be half of that money.
Yeah, around $12,000.
12,000, so 12,000 what we would see as income for the trust authority. And then the other thought that I had, and I says with the money that we have accumulated and has received, that's going to generate interest. And that interest would then come into a available. And then once everything is launched, then it seems as though Lance had alluded to, and I'm going to say lightly, that that money can be used for some other things too. But it's still got to be defined specifically. And let's see, that was the only flags that they had. They had a flag on, and where we're at, and see it's got over here, we are responsible for the maintenance and agreement fees with the AT&T, Total, and other phone services provider within Nowata County, along with a one-time charge for the GIS data update that goes to Coffeyville, that gets the system updated. So we're responsible for those, and I said I thought those fees would be coming out of the money that we have reserved. And they were, yes. But then they were concerned about what Coffeyville, and Chad, is Kansas okay with you doing? Because what Lance had said, that back in August of last year, his counterpart that's positioned in Kansas was not on board.
Really? No, Scott hadn't made any indications that they were not on board.
Because see, that's what I said, I don't know what happened when you were here, but with all the discussion that I've had with Coffeyville, he's already spoke to his superiors up the chain, knowingly that this is okay.
Yeah, that's the reason why I know how much the IZzyNet was going to charge us, cost us and everything, was because I had went through Scott.
And that IZzyNet fee, that's being incorporated by Coffeyville, by Kansas?
That's going to be
And
ours.
see, that wasn't clear for Chad. He did not, Lance didn't understand that. Because I said, from my understanding, everything has been covered for the IZzyNet. I said, all we're supposed to be doing is getting our trunk lines to Tulsa. And I said, that should be coming out of the money that we have for, because that's a hardware movement, or grant, I don't know, you want to call it whatever you want, because that'd be funding to put this project in motion. So we're good. So that I don't see no holdups, other than I have to be more specific in how the Phase 2 wireless operation is going to go, and just touch base with Nowata to see if they're on board with making sure that they're comfortable with that money that for the EM services would then come to the trust authority.
Okay.
And that will be beneficial for the trust authority.
Okay.
And any other kind of revenue that we can, because you see, at this point, I don't know the costs that's going to come, but there are going to be maintenance fees that will be yearly maintenance fees that we'll have to budget, because what they provided me with was with a little spreadsheet, and I've got like year one. So year one, I'm going to have initial setup fees for the trunk lines, and then I got to pay a yearly fee for these trunk lines, which I didn't know. I thought because it was AT&T, it was a free service.
Nothing's nothing's
You
free.
only got one thing free and you take care of that for $100. But I wouldn't say nothing, I'm a quiet guy.
Anyway, they've got me a spreadsheet to look at, trunks, and I've got yearly expenses, and then I have to come up and break that down. And then it's a 10-year plan, and this is what Beaver County had put together on their cost analysis. And so, but he highlighted, and so much of what those fees are, Coffeyville is taken care of. All we've got to do is the maintenance fees. And I said at this point in time, initially I would like our county assessors to handle the addressing in the future. But until we get settled with an assessor and what's required and the steps involved, I'll take on that job. It's,
You'll take on that job?
I'll put the addresses. When a new address comes in, it'll come to the 911 Trust Authority. And then that will then get issued out
Okay.
Issued to the assessors.
to the assessor and then to the postal offices. Somebody will come to the post office, we'll have a form filled out. The form will say, this is my new address, I need a new address. And then it'll come to Trust Authority, and then I'll spot where it's at, where their address location is, and take care of that. Because right now, the assessor's job's going to be up for election. You don't know what's going to happen. And then next year, it's going to be up again for a 4-year term. Okay? So I said, I don't have a problem because I'm working with the mapping and I know the mapping, how it works. And then and then what happens there is I do the mapping for RNS Digital, and then RNS then turns around and then sends it where it's got to go. It records it, and it's a done deal. So I'm just like the first step in assigning an address. So I don't have a problem with that. And I won't get paid for it unless the county decides to give me a wage, maybe $1.50.
Oh, we'll put a parking spot out there for you, and you won't be charged.
Okay,
So that's it on that, on
that's
6.
highlighting the meeting.
What do you
I
do?
didn't get critiqued too badly. They didn't ask for a whole lot of clarification. They just, it was the phase 2 that wasn't not fully completed. And I said, I really can't complete it until the addressing is done. But RNS, they said, what about the maintenance side of the fence? And I said, well, we tentatively got a price, but then he said he had given a price to Beaver County, and they changed it. So it may be a little bit more. From $3,500 yearly fee may go up to $6,000, or maybe as high as $8,000. I don't know. For the wireless. Wireless, they seem to think it gets complicated. I don't know why. But like I say, this is the first go around. I asked, finally I said, is everything a go? And they said, yes, we don't have a problem. We just need to get these points addressed. And so when I get these points addressed, we'll have them at the next meeting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, and then since we don't have a physical budget yet, and we don't have any money, so to speak, spending money, I can't implement anything. Even if we had the addressing done today, I wouldn't have had no money to update Coffeyville's database. That's going to take a couple $1,000s. Okay? I don't know. I'm just throwing out a number. I don't know what the number is going to be, but there's going to be a fee adjusted to that. And at the same time, I'm going to need a fee to pay RNS to continually do the maintenance, have maintenance agreements. And the other thing is set up a database of our own. That would be in either, I'll have the database and then I'll transfer it over to the assessors group that they have for all the addresses in the county. So that's where I'm at.
So Lance and the authority, they think that it's a financially feasible plan that you put forward?
Yes. And with the agreement, because I didn't even know how we can get some money into the system. And then he said, why not just have City of Nowata pay for their dispatching service?
Yeah, right. The funds that have been being collected and were being held by,
State.
Grand Gateway?
Yeah, Grand Gateway.
Yeah.
That goes into the trust authority,
Yes.
does it not?
Yes, those funds
Yes.
that they have there, those funds that they have now, I've been using those funds at Grand Gateway
Okay,
because the Grand Gateway is liberal,
yeah.
where I'm not tied to the money that's in
But-
Nowata County.
But those are our funds.
It's our funds.
Yeah.
It is our funds. And they will give us, they will get that money. We will get that money.
We just don't have it yet.
We don't have it yet.
Okay, that answers
I have-
the
I
question,
have-
because there was multiple thousands of dollars
There was like either 58,000 to 62,000, someplace in that range
Yeah.
of money there. And then I've spent 14,000.
Well,
Jeez. Buy yourself a new truck?
7,000 one time and another 7,000 two times, plus $100.
It's a peppery bar.
Yeah.
That's all RNS.
This is all going to RNS.
Yeah.
This is paying for the mapping.
Okay, and it's coming out of those
And
funds.
the mapping is,
The problem is, once this is all said and done, the authority has no, you're spending what's coming in. That's going to South Coffeyville. You have no source of income for things that come up, and that's what the,
because the agreement is that,
Operational
right,
cost.
operate.
we don't have no funding for operational
Because
costs.
everything that's coming in from the phone companies goes
It's
to,
going to go pay for the services
for the
that
services,
we're acquiring.
right. Okay.
And the service that we're acquiring is great because it goes into a Kansas pool,
yeah,
and we have great coverage.
yeah.
That's all I
Yeah.
can say.
Yeah, it's a plus.
It's a
good deal.
plus all the way down the road, because if, what we looked at, is that if I were to put $1 to what Coffeyville is providing us, it's over $100,000 a year on services, and we're paying $84,000.
Yeah.
So we're getting plus service for this service that they're applying.
Yeah, when I sat down and bounced the numbers, it was like $32,000 between him and Rogers County.
And so
And
that's...
that was even before we got in.
That's where we're at and doing what we're doing. And then to me, it's like, I will sit with the commissioners prior to next year's budget and see if some monies can be allocated to us to assist.
Okay.
That I don't know how that's going to work.
We'll cover that one.
We're going to cover that because I got to get 3 commissioners with, loose around
Yeah.
close to a tree or something and say, I need a couple thousand.
Shoot, in this county right now, you'd have to wait for your turn with that news.
But anyway, that's how the meeting went with, and I'm real pleased. I was real pleased.
My day's already been stretched.
Poor
Because-
guy. You don't want to drive
So
back.
I will look at getting an agreement with South Coffeyville, so that the verbiage will get changed to be included.
That just makes sense.
Yeah.
The whole county to be on one deal.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to worry about breaking off how we're going to be collecting fees. All right?
Good enough.
I'll get with the city and tell them you're gonna put to us.
And can I raise the rates?
No.
The drawback to this though is,
Yes.
yes, it will be going to the 911 trust, but it's also taken away from the sheriff's department.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm going to take,
Yeah.
I'm taking out 14,000 out of the sheriff's department.
1,400.
1,400.
That sounds good.
1,400, that's at the month. Let's go for the year.
PD will still pay to the sheriff and fire and EMS
Yes,
will go to the trust.
She will still be dispatching for us.
Yeah.
Fire and EMS will go through the authority. Got it.
Okay.
Super.
Okay.
Line item 7, can't do anything.
We don't have anybody here to take oath of office. Line item 8, we have any announcements?
I have none.
Anybody? Line item 9, new business. Okay, guys.
I just say, under the new business part, I say this, between the newspapers and him, that I don't see out that side, but the people I talk to, because I get a lot of it, we've come a long ways, and the negatory has quit.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more positive. I seen him at 2 different parades, and I was at the Delaware and Lenapal like the commissioner. And the people I talk to up there at their hot chocolate and stuff, there's no negative, so we're in the right direction for a change. And I'm proud of him, everybody on the board with me. We're doing good.
Yep, I think so.
And thanks to the man from Coffeyville, even more important.
Absolutely.
That's all I got. I got
I'll
no medical
second
jokes,
that.
so I'll be quiet.
I'll second what Rocky said, and I'll make a motion to adjourn.